Welcome to the Model UN seminar. These are the flipped activities for week 9. So we have covered the first 40 years of international aid and saw how this type of aid was not really working. And today I'd like us to talk about what happened in 2000. New type of aid for a new millennium. Maybe that would be my catchphrase. The organization, the group that was responsible for this new type of aid is called the Jubilee 2000 Coalition. If you know anything about this coalition, or another way of saying it, this group or organization, well, take a few minutes to think and maybe list what you know. Basically, the Jubilee 2000 Coalition was an international movement to cancel, to remove, to get rid of the debt of developing countries. Let's look at the concessional external debt stock. So I've been using this graph for a while now, and as you can see, yes, the debt had been steadily increasing to levels that are crazy to me. Got no other words to describe it, right? More than a $6 billion debt for a country like Cameroon. This is just ridiculous. And I was not the only one to think that way. And basically, they used the year 2000 as the Catholic Church declared it a Jubilee year. And it means that every 50 years, according to the Catholic Church, those enslaved, so those who were slaves because of debt, were freed. And also if you had lost land because of debt, those lands were returned. Right? So it's kind of a forgiveness of debt for the Catholic Church. Regarding international aid, the aim was to wipe out, to completely remove the $90 billion debt that developing countries owed to developed countries. So the remaining debt would have been about $37 billion. It's still a lot, but considering how ridiculously high the debt was, it's a great improvement. So yes, it started with the church with the year 2000, but actually, as you can see from this picture, many youth groups, so groups made of young people, supported the Jubilee 2000 Coalition. And yes, maybe you recognize him right there. This is Bono from the music band U2, and he is here actually next to another celebrity. His name is so he's also a singer. So yes, many celebrities got involved. I guess in a way Bono was the main one. And unlike what I've been telling you so far, it worked. Yes, after some negotiation, 22 developing countries saw their debt disappear. So it went completely away, or being at least reduced. Here on the graph you can see, right, the drop. If we look at Cameroon, it went down. Same thing, Côte d'Ivoire, not so much, so it's probably one who only saw it slightly reduced. The Congo took a couple years before it actually went down, but Zambia also saw it reduce quite drastically. So I'm using the cover of Time magazine, and it says, "Can Bono save the world?" Well, in a way you can say yes, he helped make a big difference in the debt that in developing countries owe to developed countries. So it's great, but, and yes, I know, there's always a but somewhere, who said this is what African countries wanted? obviously it's nice to see your debt reduced, but who actually went to the African countries who owed so much money and asked them, is this what you need? Is this going to be helpful in the future? And Moyo, in the book I've been using so far called Dead Aid, says that Western donors are increasingly looking to anyone for guidance on how best to tackle Africa's predicament. So predicament means problem, big issue. And so looking to anyone except the people who know best, the local people, right? So she believes that the people you should ask guidance from are African policymakers, right? So the people who are local, who understand the situation, hopefully are not corrupt, and are making laws, or who could implement laws. So yes, the Jubilee 2000 coalition was a very public and celebrity-oriented campaign, and it worked by seeing the debt reduce or actually completely disappearing. But there was no honest, critical, and serious dialogue and debate on the merits and demerits of aid. Right? So the campaign was aimed at reducing the debt, but not talk about the positive and negative aspects of aid. And actually, one African policymaker said, "My voice can't compete with an electric guitar." And I want to explain this claim by showing you a part of the Net Aid 1999 concert, because it was celebrity oriented, and as usual, and especially since Bono was so important in this campaign, well, obviously they had a concert, right? So let me show you one of the songs played at the concert.
Isn't getting better until you feel the same. Will it make it easier on you now? You got someone to blame. You said one love, one life, it's one me, and I. Disappoint you, leave a bad taste in your mouth. You act like you never had love. You want me to go without. Is it too late tonight to drag the past out into the light?
I actually like the song very much, but again, as this African policymaker said, how can he compete with such popularity, with the noise made by all the songs for the concert, right? How can he compete with that? How can his voice be heard? And it's kind of ironic, I think, because the song starts, "Is it getting better?" And I think that would have been the great question to ask. Yes, the debt was crazy, immoral, we should have had reduced it, and we did, But we should also have asked, is it getting better with international aid in the first place, right? So there should have been a dialogue, a debate on the merits and demerits of aid, because now 15 years later, we see that the level of debt is going back up. Here you see it on the graph, right? For Zambia, it's going back up. It looks like Cameroon is still going slightly down, but Côte d'Ivoire is still going up, and hopefully Congo is going down, right? But overall, you still see that the debt connected to international aid is a problem, because I believe we didn't take time to discuss it when we decided to remove it for some of the countries or reduce it for others. As you just saw, we're done with the international aid, and now what I'd like you to do is, using the questions and your answers, the notes you took, as well as the summaries of the flipped activities, I would like you, for each decade, so every 10 years, right, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, list what didn't work with international aid, and then think about what could be done instead, right? So what could be done to actually make aid work? You will see all the details on the worksheet. Please note that this is a work I will give you a grade for, so I expect you to hand in your work at the beginning of next class. As usual, my main reference is the book by Moyo Dambisa called Dead Aid. This is the end of the flipped activities for week 9. Thank you very much.